Good morning, everyone. My name is Arslan, and you are watching Proper Pariksha, the place where we strive for academic excellence in a simple and comprehensive manner. So, today we will be starting the topic of subtraction of decimals of Class 6 Mathematics, Chapter 8. So, without any further ado, let's start. So, as you know, that subtraction of decimals, before that, we have learned about addition of decimals. So, similarly, you can understand subtraction of decimals as adding a negative decimal with a positive decimal. For example, if I say subtract 1.1 from 2.2, then that means that 2.2 minus 1.1 is to be done, because as far the language is concerned, I think you know about that. We have learned that in natural numbers, whole numbers, comparing numbers, and integers. Okay, also in fraction. So 2.2 minus 1.1. It can also be written as 2.2 plus of minus 1.1, because for those who have been following our lectures continuously without any break, they know that how to multiply a plus with a minus inside the bracket, or a minus with a plus, or minus with a minus, or plus with a plus. So plus and minus will make a minus. So it can also be written as 2.2 plus of minus 1.1. That is what I am trying to say, that subtraction of decimals can also be interpreted as addition of a negative decimal. Okay, or you can just write the original definition, or the thing which is like obvious from it, that subtraction of decimals means that we have to subtract or take away one particular quantity from the other particular quantity, be it decimal, integer, or anything like that. So there are two types of definitions which you can keep it to yourself for your understanding and to understand what subtraction is. Okay, so we'll start with some examples so that you have much more clear understanding as to how subtraction is done in relation to decimals. Okay, so 1.885 is to be subtracted from 5.46. Whenever from is used and the another number is used, then that means that 5.46 will be written with a plus sign, and the number before from which is written is known as the one which is to be subtracted. So we can write minus 1.85, or you can write plus of minus 1 of 85. Okay, any way is possible. Now in order to subtract a decimal, the procedure is like very simple. You just have to write the decimals in top and down fashion with the decimal points aligned. That is all. And remaining every concept, every procedure, every method will be same as that of subtracting a integer, whole number, or natural number. So we will write 5.46 over here, then we will write 1.85 over here. After that, we'll write a minus sign, and then we will just subtract. Just you need to make sure that the decimal sign is aligned with each other, be it addition or be it subtraction. So 6 minus 5 will give you 1, 4 minus 8 will not be possible, therefore it will become 14, and this will become 4. So 14 minus 8 will become 6, and 4 minus 12 will become 3. Point will be placed aligned with the question, and the answer will be plus 3.61. However, if the question would have said that subtract 5.46 from 1.85, then what would have been the case? Then the case would have been that 1.85 will be written with a plus sign, and 5.46 will be written with a minus sign. That is what the question says. It can also be written as, we know that in order to subtract a larger quantity from a smaller quantity, we used to use a particular method, and that was that we will take the minus common outside of it, and we will make a bracket. So with this, we will write minus 1.85 plus of 5.46. So for those who are unable to understand this particular thing as to how minus came outside and how the bracket came into existence and how the sign changed for the other numbers which are mentioned over here. So we have discussed some additional concepts and some additional things that are not related to this particular course of class 6 mathematics, or some things which will be discussed later on, so that you can use that beforehand and you can get aware and you can get friendly with that particular concept or method. Okay, so I will request you to please watch our videos in totality so that you have a much more clear understanding. Now we have come back to the same thing which was mentioned in the previous question, that subtract 1.85 from 5.46. So 5.46 came with a plus and 1.85 came with a minus, and you will just write it in the same manner as this. The answer will be the same as this. The only difference will be that you will write a minus and then you will write a plus 3.61 inside the brackets, because the answer will be inside the brackets, and then you will finally write minus 3.61. This is the approach to subtract a larger quantity from a smaller quantity. Coming to another question. Okay, subtract 5.25 from 8.28. Okay, so we will write 8.28 and we will write a minus 5.25. The decimal point should always be aligned. 8 minus 5 will give you 3. 2 minus 2 will give you 0. Point will be added aligned with the question. 8 minus 5 will again give you 3. So the answer will be plus 3.03. Subtract 0.95 from 2.29. So I hope that you have understood how subtraction of decimals is done. Only 3 points are required. First is that the decimal point should be aligned with each other and the numbers should be written in a top-down fashion. Second is that you have to make sure that the number with having from preceding that, like, or I can say that number which is just after from, the word from, that will be in plus, so x y z, and the minus will be for the number who is mentioned before the from, so it will be a b c. Okay, and if the second point is that if you are subtracting a number which is larger than the number from which it is to be subtracted to, then what you have to do, a minus will be taken outside, brackets will be used, and the concept of changing signs will be used, which we have discussed in our previous videos, and then you will just find the answer and a minus will be added to the answer itself. Okay, so now coming to question number 3, from 2.29, 2.29, 0.95 will be subtracted and minus of 9 minus 5, 4. Apologies for the intervention. Again, coming back to the question, 9 minus 5 is 4, and then 2 minus 9 is not possible, so it will become 12, and this will become 1, so 12 minus 9 will become 3, point will be added aligned with the question, 1 minus 0 will be 1, and 1.34 will be the answer with a plus. Subtract 2.25 from 5.68. Okay, so 5.68 will be mentioned, and minus will be mentioned with 2.25 because it is before the word from. After that, we'll just subtract. 8 minus 5 will be 3, 6 minus 2 will be 4, 5 minus 2 will be 3, plus will be added because the number which is subtracted is a smaller one, and 5 minus 2 is plus 3. Example, Abhishek had 7.45 rupees. He bought toffees for 5.3. Find the balance amount left with Abhishek. So similar questions we have also done in the chapter of fractions, in the chapter of integers. So same we have to apply in the decimals. So this is nothing new. You just have to make the subtraction process different from the fractions. That's all. So 7.45 he had, or actually, so we'll write that Abhishek had total amount is equal to rupees 7.45. Then you will write Abhishek spent spent on toffee is equal to मतलब अमाउंट जो भी नहीं, अमाउंट तो लिखना जरूरी नहीं, तो अमाउंट स्पेंट ऐसे लिख दो, अभिषेक नहीं, अमाउंट स्पेंट ऑन टॉफी इज इक्वल टू रुपीज 5.30. Okay, so Abhishek had total amount is equal to 7.45 and amount spent on toffee by Abhishek is equal to 5.30. After that, you will just make one equation, two equation. You will write subtracting 2 from 1, subtracting 2 from 1, we will get the balance amount, and then you will just subtract it by making writing it in the same fashion, point aligned with each other, and you will make a minus sign. After that, 5 minus 0 will give you 5, 4 minus 3 will give you 1, decimal point will be added, 7 minus 5 will give you 2 with a plus sign. So therefore, rupees 2.15 will be left with Abhishek. Coming to next example. Urmila school is at a distance of 5 km 350 meter from her house. So the total distance between Urmila and her school has been Urmila's house and her school has been mentioned in the question. Next is that she travels some kilometers or some distance on foot and the rest by bus. How much distance does she travel by bus? So basically what they have mentioned is that from her home to her school, she travels some distance by walking and the remaining distance by bus. So therefore, the total distance, that is 5 kilometer 350 meter, can be written as distance walked plus distance traveled by bus. Okay. So in order to find the distance traveled by bus, you can just subtract this particular distance from 5 kilometer 350 meter and you will get the answer. So that will be, we know the conversion. So 5 kilometer 350 meter can be written as, by now you should be able to do it verbally, 5.35 kilometers, and then you will write 1 kilometer 70 meters, so you will write 1.070 kilometer, and then you will just subtract it, minus sign, 0 minus 0, 5 minus 7 will give you 7 7 is 14, 8, and then this will become 2, 2 minus 0 will become 2, 5 minus 1 will become 4. So therefore 4.280 kilometers is the total distance which she travels through bus. Example. Next example, Kanchan bought a watermelon weighing 5 kilo 200 grams. Out of this, she gave 2 kilo 750 gram to her neighbor. What is the weight of watermelon left with her Kanchan? We're left with Kanchan. So basically, the question says that the person Kanchan bought a watermelon, and from that she cut a particular segment that was 2 kilograms and 750 grams, and she gave it to the neighbor, and the total weight was 5 kilograms 200 grams, that is 5.2 kgs. So the question is that how much is the remaining? So this part is asked. So how can that be done? So 1 plus 2 is equal to 5.2. Therefore, 2 is equal to, or the left part is equal to 5.2 minus 2 kg 750 gram. Therefore, we will just write 5.200 just to make it look nicer, and then 2.750, and then we will just subtract it, and then 0, 10 minus 5 5, this will become 1, so it will become 11, that will become 4, and this will become 4, and 4 minus 2 will become 2. So 2.45 kilogram is the weight of watermelon that is left with Kanchan. So this is a simple trick as how to solve the questions for subtraction of decimals. In the next video, we'll be dealing with the exercise 8.4, and I hope that you have understood all the topics, all the unsolved examples and solved examples which have been discussed in our videos. In case you like our videos, hit the subscribe button and the like button. In case you have any suggestions or any feedbacks for us, to comment in the comment section, or you can just reach us out at any of our social handles, that is LinkedIn, Facebook, or anyone is at which you are convenient. So till the next time we meet, goodbye.